Welcome to the High Vibration Reset, the podcast for women ready to step into their next level of success, raising your energy and your impact without burnout, overthinking, or feeling undervalued. I'm your host, Ciara Conlon, and for the past 18 years, I've been helping women take full ownership of their growth, their voice, their work, and their leadership. And that's not just to succeed personally, but to create a bigger impact in their communities, workplaces, and in the world. In this week's episode, I interview Valeria López. Now, Valeria is a licensed nutritionist, a health coach, and gut health specialist. She helps high-achieving women over 40 lose weight, rebalance their hormones without restriction, burnout, or self-sacrifice. Valeria has a background in clinical nutrition, so her approach is really rooted in science. She focuses on the gut and metabolic health, and she's guided by a profound understanding of how food can really elevate our vibrational frequency. Valeria's goal is to empower women to make expert-level decisions about themselves. And her outlook on food is eat how you want to feel rather than how you want to look. It's a really healthy and refreshing way to look at food. Regardless of your health or weight goals, this episode really is a must listen for any woman. She breaks it all down to make it easy to follow and how to make instant changes so that you can live in a healthier, more energetic body. And this will give you the energy to achieve whatever it is you're trying to achieve. She tells us in this episode what most of us have got wrong around fasting. And I have worked with Valeria, and this was a game changer for me. Because prior to meeting Valeria, I would always have said, I don't fast and fasting doesn't work for me. So she showed me how we can think differently about fasting, that fasting doesn't have to mean that we're hungry. It's just an opportunity to give our bodies a break from shoveling in the food and allow our system to rejuvenate and to heal itself. She talks about how food can actually balance our emotions and our hormones. She talks about cortisol and how this can be negatively impacting the good habits and behaviors we have. And she also speaks about the real health risks associated with a very common food that I'm sure most of us are eating every day. So I know you're going to enjoy this episode. So let's dive right in. So Valeria, welcome. Thank you so much, my dear, for joining. I'm a very fortunate person because Valeria is now a good friend of mine. And before we get into this, I was just thinking, so I have a lot of lovely friends who I met in different places, but I think our story is the coolest, Valeria. If you remember where we met.
Of course I do.
We met on a hike in Arizona in the early morning. And our paths have been aligned ever since. So I'm delighted to have you here to chat on the podcast.
Same. And I have to say this before we start.
Yeah.
I'm just as lucky as you are, even more maybe. I think that your friendship is a great value in my life. So thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me today.
That.
I love this.
So why don't you start telling us a little bit more about who you are and how you moved into this area of nutrition and working with women's health?
Well, my name is Valeria López. I'm originally from Argentina. And I went right after high school. I went to university to study nutrition. At the time, I don't think I was so aware of this, but in time, I realized that I went into nutrition school because I wanted to solve my own health issues, my own weight issues. I was overweight, like the chubby girl in the family my whole life as a child and as a teenager. And that was a very limiting thing for me in so many ways, socially, personally, like my confidence, it was everywhere. And I think that to a great extent, the reason I decided to work exclusively with women is because I think that we are very limited by the way we look, by our weight, and that translates into how we connect to the world. So my intention is to help women get out of there, right? And like step into the light and be who they came to the world to be. So, well, and I'm doing it through nutrition and health. You are doing it through other ways. But I think that, that's the reason I decided to work only with women.
Yeah, it's so important, isn't it? Because most women, I'm sure there are fortunate women who've never had to think about their weight, their bodies, but most women have an issue with how they look, and the media and social media and life conditions us to be a certain way. And we waste so much time thinking about it when we could be, as you say, coming to do the good work that we're here to do. That's the fortunate thing about getting older as well. You care less, but
100%.
but even there, we all want to feel good, look good, and be comfortable in our bodies.
But also, like, the thing is also like the things we do to ourselves to fit into certain role models, to look in a certain way, or to look younger, or to be different, to change our bodies. And I think that the best thing that we can do is actually honor who we are and how we look. Obviously, from a health perspective, like if you are severely overweight, like my BMI was in the obesity range when I was overweight, and that is not healthy, right? And that doesn't have a good vibration, because somewhere there you're not entirely happy with yourself. So to me, the only genuine reason to do anything for yourself is because it aligns better with that higher version of yourself, rather than I have to look this way, or I have to fit in this dress, or I have to, that type of thing.
So the name of your company, Valeria?
Oh, yes. Wise Food Choices.
Yes. So that is the essence about what you teach and what you do. So explain why you came up with that name.
With that name?
Yeah.
Well, especially because I started working, like I realized that most of the women that came working with me were in their 40s and 50s. So, and to me, because I'm a huge fan of perimenopause and menopause, fan in a good way, like I think it's a wonderful time of our lives. It's not a problem. It's not something broken. It's not a failure or a mistake. It's a wonderful thing. And that comes with wisdom. And the wiser we get in terms of the choices we make about our food, about our lifestyle, about the way we treat ourselves. Well, that's why I wanted to help people make wise food choices.
Yeah. And it's a really important thing that we need to be reminded of. It's that we always have a choice in every moment. And it's one of the things that I say to my clients is that I say to myself actually is when I have a negative thought, when I do something that I didn't want to do, I actually say to myself, I choose again. So, and that's something actually, because I worked with you, I did your program, Valeria, and which we'll talk about in terms of hormone balance and making those right choices. But I remember once you saying to me, it's choose the best option in the moment. Because we get hung up on, we go out or something and our perfect diet, if we're eating in a certain way, isn't there. but you said to me, make the best choice in the moment. And I always remember that. And I think it's fantastic. But anyway, let's get a bit meatier into deeper conversation about hormone health. So you talk a lot about balancing hormones and doing that with food. And I think this is a fantastic thing that more people need to know about. Food really impacts our hormones. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, well, there's there's 3 reasons that food impacts our hormones. So the nutrients that we get through our diet either help us make hormones or metabolize them, which means changing them a little bit so they can be usable by our cells. And they also help us detoxify and eliminate hormones. So these are 3 stages of our hormonal balance, and all of them require certain nutrients. That's why I focus so much on working on the microbiome, which is the bacteria in our gut. They process part of the food that we eat. Most of the benefits that we get from food is because of the bacteria that we have in the gut. And they are key for our hormonal balance as well. And then the second part is the liver. So these 2 systems need optimal nutrition. And we're talking about not just macros and calories and protein that is so trendy these days, which of course we need. But we're talking about polyphenols. We're talking about fermented foods. We're talking about essential fatty acids like omega-3. We're talking about being exposed to the sun. Certain vegetables like cruciferous vegetables that are so key for liver function, metabolizing excess estrogen, for example. Many women that are on HRT, for example, they start HRT because they have brain fog, because they are low in their moods, because, just so you know, the main symptoms of perimenopause and menopause is not the hot flashes, is depression and anxiety and being low and feeling sad for no reason. So HRT has proven really effective in that. But then when you don't nourish your body properly to metabolize and eliminate those hormones, then you're not using them properly. You're not making the best out of them. And then you start putting on weight, especially around the middle.
Okay.
I don't know if this is clear enough or if I made like a very big salad here of things, but basically that's how we eat for our hormones for 3 reasons: to make them, to use them, and to eliminate them. Okay? And different foods will give you the tools for that. That's why restriction will never work for us.
Right. Great. Yay. But that's what happens a lot of the time, isn't it? Where you see, people aren't able to lose weight, not because they're eating too much, because they're eating too little.
Yes.
They're not nourishing their bodies.
Actually, the women that I interview on a daily basis to join my program, they don't eat a lot.
Yeah.
They don't.
Yeah. And it's a great relief to know that, if you nourish yourself more.
The problem is that they eat too little, so then their thyroid starts making weird, adaptations. The body is an adaptation machine. So if it doesn't have enough resources, it obviously will not use the reserves.
Yeah.
But there's another thing here. When the body cannot process something because it doesn't have that vitamin or that mineral or that enzyme or that little tool that it needs to process a hormone, a food, a toxin, anything, it will store it as fat. And that is a survival mechanism.
Okay.
So those of us that put on weight in the middle and complain about it, think again. Say thank you. It looks like you need something that I'm not giving you. So let's take a look at that. What is it that is missing here?
So what is it most likely to be?
Most likely are nutritional deficiencies, not just calories, but micronutrients. Unfortunately, the food supply, especially, and also like these foods that are labeled as healthy, like whole grain bread and these diet drinks and low sugar and low fat and 0 calorie, whatever, they come packed with chemicals that give more workload to our liver. And then the liver cannot process all of it because it has not the nutrients. Like I said, all the polyphenols and the vitamins and the minerals and all these essential amino acids and all these things that come from real food. So when you don't get that, obviously your body cannot process this other junk that we give it.
Yeah.
Now, the body is perfectly able to handle this junk as an exception. Absolutely. Because otherwise it would mean never drink a glass of wine again, or never eat pizza again, or never, and that is not possible. And it's not going to happen, and it's not realistic. So the body can handle exceptions when it's fully nourished.
Okay.
So that's the type of balance that we need to find.
So it's the liver that's getting overloaded with hormones even, and bad food and
hormones
drinking.
like cortisol and insulin and estrogen and progesterone and testosterone, and everything goes through the liver. It's the main metabolic organ that we have, and it's a huge elimination pathway as well. So a lot of women also experience high cholesterol during perimenopause, and then they think they need to stop eating eggs, right?
Yeah.
But they don't think they have to stop eating ice cream or sugar for some reason. Very interesting, right? So these are the things that I think are very important that people understand and know, because they empower you to make decisions based on how you want to feel, not how you want to look. The looks will come, right? Once you feel the right way.
Absolutely. So how can we simplify that? Because you've said a lot there that makes a lot of sense, but you did say a lot. And, for a lot of people, it's maybe language, polyphenols, or, that we don't use in every day. So how do we simplify?
Okay.
Go ahead.
So what this would look like is, when we talk about polyphenols, we're talking about colors and flavors that are natural in all fruits, vegetables, seeds, nuts, olive oil, green tea, spices. So think of everything that has flavor and smell and color naturally. These colors are not just for looks. These colors are essential nutrients for us, and they feed our microbiome. They are anti-inflammatory, they are antioxidant, and that's why, because of the antioxidant effect, is that they have such a huge impact in how our liver processes things. Okay? Now, all the vitamins and all soluble vitamins like B's and C's and, all kinds of vitamins, they are also in the same group of fruits and vegetables. And there's another one that is key, and it's deficient in pretty much 95% of the population, which is fiber. Most people don't eat the amount of fiber that they need. And fiber, again, nuts, seeds, vegetables, fruits, whole grains, legumes, or beans. That's where you find them.
Okay.
And the fiber, what it does is it feeds the good microbes, and it's fermented, so another nutrient is produced by the microbes in your gut. And those nutrients are called short-chain fatty acids. And they not only they give you energy, but they also feed your cells in the gut lining to keep them healthy. They also signal satiety to the brain. They help the production of this very trendy thing these days, GLP-1, that is in these weight loss drugs. The weight loss drugs, the injections that a lot of people are using these days to lose weight, is a peptide that is produced naturally in your gut when you eat the right foods.
Right.
So the body is perfectly equipped regulate food intake, to stay balanced, to keep you energized. It's a very, very smart thing. The thing is that we need to fuel it properly. And when you get all these foods like convenience store foods, like packaged stuff, like readily made foods that have all these inflammatory oils that have no nutrients at all, that are full of flavoring and coloring and, additives and chemicals, that gives more work to your body. It doesn't deliver the energy that we need.
Yeah. So that brings up something that I was just thinking about there, because probably before meeting you, I would have been somebody who thought, I do eat all the right things. I already, had seeds and a variety of vegetables in my diet. And I was doing a lot right. I'm gluten-free. I don't eat dairy except for ice cream sometimes. But
you're human.
yeah. But I was doing the right things, but I was gaining weight. Now, I think one of the things that we identified was the inflammatory oils. So tell us more about that.
Yeah. Well, this is a very interesting thing, because people think that saturated fats are bad, like animal fats, the yellow in the egg, that type of stuff. Butter is bad. But they think that oils, when they're vegetable oils, they're good. And that is a very old thing that came because they thought that cholesterol in blood and triglycerides and all of that raised when we had saturated fat, but not unsaturated fats. And that gave place to the production of all these refined oils like sunflower, safflower, cottonseed oil. They are making oil out of anything these days. And they deodorize it, they refine it, they take away the smell and the taste and the color, because these oils are usually very strong, but very cheap to produce. And they are high in omega-6 and another fatty acids that are pro-inflammatory. Now, why is that a problem? Well, because when inflammation goes up, your body is like in a constant state of alert. Right? So your body feels like something is wrong, because inflammation is an immune response. So that will deplete your immune system. People get sick more often. They get insulin resistant because of this, because your body cannot regulate metabolism when it's in danger. And that makes a lot of sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So all these oils that get so oxidized, that are so inflammatory, are one of the foods that we think are healthy. And people use them for everything, for their salads, for their baking, for their cookies. You will find them in all salad dressings, in everything that you find in the store. I now don't, because now the brands know that we look for sugar, right? So they try not to put sugar in it, or they kind of disguise it with other names that are very fancy, so nobody understands them. But they know that people are not fully aware about the oils. So you will find rapeseed oil and sunflower oil and corn and soy and all these vegetable or just vegetable oil in pretty much everything. So if you just can look for that in a food label, make sure that it doesn't have any refined oil, you will make a huge step forward.
Yeah. Yeah.
And also these oils also raise your cholesterol. They raise the LDL cholesterol. They have been shown to increase cardiovascular risk, which is the opposite of what we thought.
Crazy, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I've noticed even a lot of the so-called healthy brands, there's a couple of Irish guys who have a really healthy brand, and I've noticed there's an English woman who has a very healthy brand, and all of the granolas and all of these things have it as well. So yeah, we think we're making good choices, but often
but the thing is, you know why? Because food started being a financial situation more than a nourishment situation. So people won't pay a certain amount of money for a granola. So they make it cheaper by using these products. And of course, they make it cheaper, so they make more profit as well.
Yeah.
And there's nothing, I have nothing against companies making profit, the opposite. But make profit doing the right thing.
Absolutely. And we can make our own granola anyway, very easily.
I make my own granola, and it's really good.
Brilliant. Yeah. So cortisol. So that is something that also adds width to our middle area. So how does that actually happen? How does the cortisol make us put on weight?
Well, cortisol in one thing important about cortisol is good. Because now everybody's like, oh, you have high cortisol. Like cortisol is the enemy. It's not. Nothing your body produces is bad for you. Unless, of course, it's out of balance. Now, when we are under a lot of stress, our cortisol will spike, right? And where cortisol spikes, one very important thing happens. We are more insulin resistant. Why? Because cortisol wants to keep blood sugar high, so there is enough accessible energy, fast energy, for your muscles to run from danger. That's what cortisol was made for, to make us safe, to help us run away from danger. Right? Now, when cortisol is high, obviously insulin and cortisol don't get along so well. So if cortisol is high, insulin doesn't work. Right? So then your blood sugar will rise, but that sugar won't get into your cells. So you will have low energy. And you will crave food. You will especially you will crave carbs. Right? Because why? Because cortisol wants you to have fast energy to use for running from the beast that is coming to eat you, whatever. Now, when those hormones both, because insulin is also going to be high, it's just not going to be working, those hormones are very high, they are circulating, the body doesn't know what to do, so the liver says, okay, no worries, I'll put them here in the fat tissue.
Yay.
Yay. Why? Well, because we can't have these guys around all the time. So excess sugar, excess insulin, and excess cortisol that cannot be processed are going to be deposited around your midsection temporarily, because the body thinks we're not going to be in danger forever. Right? This is going to be resolved. And when it is, I'll take care of this. So it puts us in the middle, in the midsection, because it's closer to the liver, so we can go get it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It also will store it here in your neck. And when a person starts putting on weight, the last place where the fat will store is probably around here, around the neck and around the head. But this is the first one that will be removed because it's too close to the brain.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. So you want your belly to go away, but your body knows better. And it will say, no, we'll take care of your brain first.
That's not as dangerous.
Right? So that's why that gets stored around the middle.
Interesting.
And then when you want to get rid of that, you need to address the reasons why your cortisol is high. And the reason why your cortisol is high could be because of high inflammation.
Right.
That's why food is so important, because that's the one of the main inputs we have in physically, right, is food. Of course, then we have our thoughts and our beliefs and how we manage stress and so on. But the biological input that we have is food. And that's what gives your body the resources to do everything that it needs to do.
And we have control over it.
Exactly.
Most of us.
Yes.
Yeah.
We should, at least.
Yeah.
Or let's not say should. Let's say we can be in control of it, and we are designed to be in control of it. Sometimes those control systems get hacked by these types of foods. refined oils, refined sugar, additives like emulsifiers and sweeteners, even 0-calorie sweeteners. All these things hack our control mechanisms.
Yeah.
So that's why people can't stop eating this stuff.
And that's why conscious eating or intuitive eating won't work for most people.
No.
Because consciously, I want that ice cream or that bag of crisps is calling me. So I'm out of touch with what my body needs.
Yeah, I think that mindful eating is very important when you're doing both at the same time. You're taking care of the quality of your food, and then you use that very powerful skill that is mindfulness to make better and better and better decisions about it.
Yeah.
But you need to give your body something to work with, because it won't come out of nowhere. Just because I'm thinking of eating healthy, that's not going to happen.
It's a bit more difficult than that, yeah, which I'm sure a lot of people will relate to. But I think what you said there is important as well, that we don't label cortisol or anything as bad. And this is something that you say about food. You say there's no good or bad food. No. But surely there are foods that are bad for us.
Yes. But those are not real foods.
Ah, very good.
Those are products.
Yes.
Because Coca-Cola is not food. I'm sorry, no. You just lost a sponsor here, but you know.
That's no problem.
But you know, I think we need to make a difference between what is food and what is not.
That's true. Very true. Yeah. And even if we thought about what we eat like that, we would make much better choices, wouldn't we? When we think of it as not food.
I don't think people or us are to blame for that, because we were led to believe that these things were good for us. And we were led to believe that by people that we trust. Yes. Like doctors and brands, and the fact that it's allowed to sell it. Yeah. Like in an ideal world, Coca-Cola should be forbidden.
Yeah. But even our parents, you know, I know my mother with probably lack of information or knowledge, you know, would say things like, eat it up, it's good for you. Yeah. And it might have been a piece of white bread and, you know, a heap of butter. So we were encouraged to eat things, or the whole cereal in the morning breakfast idea, you know, was to give us fuel. But in terms of then, you know, actually it's just to come back to that, you know, good or bad, I think it's important for people to remember that the way we think about things influences our body, because
100%. Yes.
Our body is listening.
Yes. And also, like, what you think and what you believe creates your physiological response. So if you're eating this, I don't know, what could it be? Pizza. Well, I'm a pizza person, so let's go with pizza. If I'm eating this pizza thinking, I'm so bad.
Yeah.
I lack willpower. I'm terrible. I have no discipline. This is going to make me fat, and this is going to go straight to my butt, and you know, that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Your body will react respond in a very different way than if you say, you know what, today I'm going to eat this pizza because I love it, because it's something that tastes great, because I have been doing everything in my power to nourish my body as well as I can. And today I'm going to do this because I want to share it with my friend, because I am in this birthday party, whatever. It's a completely different situation. And it goes both ways. If you are, you know, fighting with your spouse or with your boss, or like completely angry and, you know, upset, you can drink all the green juice in the world and it's not going to give you any benefits.
Yeah.
So it goes both ways.
Yeah.
And I think that was a really great thing to talk about, because I think people don't really, like, you eat the salad and you hate it.
Yeah.
Not great.
I caught myself this morning on my walk, and I was thinking about my aches and pains. And I just caught myself of saying, oh my God, I keep thinking recently that I need to sort out my neck. And I'm thinking about my body negatively. So I switched into, I am healthy. I have a healthy body. I have a strong body, as my dogs were pulling me along. But I repeated it over and over again. And I started to almost elicit the feeling of inner strength, and this is so important in every part of our lives, but even more around the food that we are putting into our bodies.
I like the way that Ayurveda talks, like, sees nutrition, because in terms of Ayurveda, we are nourished with our 5 senses. So it's what we see, what we hear, what we say, what we think, and what we eat.
Beautiful. Yeah.
The smell, the touch, the people around you, the environment that you surround yourself with, that is a nutrient too.
So it is the essence of healthy eating or mindful eating.
Yes.
With bringing all of this into.
Yes. I love Ayurveda. I've been trained in Ayurvedic nutrition, and I use it a lot with my clients because it explains things in such a beautiful way. And Ayurveda sees food as with material components, which are the protein and the fat and the vitamins and all the, more hard things. And it has a subtle component, which are mental qualities of food. So food creates behavior, food creates emotions, and it promotes certain states in your mood, in the way you feel, in what type of energy, what type of thoughts you have.
So this ties in perfectly with the idea of vibration in food.
Yes.
So explain to us about that then. What's the...
If you were to say, okay, what has the highest vibration, right? The highest vibration in food will come from foods that have a lot of prana. Prana is vital energy, and it comes from the sun. And that cultivates a mental state that is called sattvas. Sattvas is the state of love, compassion, focus, calm, beauty, light, everything you think of like the perfect ideal balance. That is sattvas. And that comes from your vital energy, and your vital energy will be given to you by foods that are light, that have grown in the light, that have been walking, swimming, or flying in the light, right? Because some people eat, well, most of us eat animal foods as well. And it's not a bad thing, as long as they were animals that were out in the light. Treat her properly, because it's not bad to eat an animal if you don't torture it, let's put it that way, right? So all these things that have so much prana, so much sunlight in them, that's what you will find more energy from. Now, there's another guna or mental quality that is called rajas, and that one is pretty much in between. That is the one that will give you drive and motivation and agitation, and it will make you maybe a little bit too bossy. That's the one that when it gets imbalanced goes all the way to stress and burnout. And the foods that promote that state are stimulant foods like coffee and very spicy food, very, these very intense flavors, very strong flavors, things that have been burnt, right? Smoked flavors, that type of thing. And of course, alcohol. Everything that is stimulating will do that to you. Now, the last type of energy, which is the lowest type of energy, is called tamas. And tamas has absolutely no prana. So guess which, no prana means depression, no motivation, no drive, being aggressive and mean to others, comparing yourself to others, feeling hopeless and overwhelmed. And like, well, this is the life that I have. There's nothing I can do.
A victim.
Right? Mm-hmm. Victim. That is tamas. And tamas is promoted by things that have no prana. AKA anything in McDonald's, anything in a package,
Right.
things that are not natural at all. Refined oils, fries, excess sugar, excess alcohol. Alcohol can be stimulating, but when you go all the way to the extreme, is highly self-destructive. Tamas is a self-destructive state, and these foods create that in your body. There are studies conducted by people that expose themselves to eating processed foods for a certain amount of time, and they ended up doubling their body weight, depressed, with anxiety, with cognitive decline, all, you name it, everything. So it's very destructive to the body to expose
Body's not
yourself on
being
a regular
nourished.
basis to that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, yeah, like these, there are mental qualities that food can promote. Food can promote drive and calm and focus, and can also promote depression, anxiety, self-destructiveness, aggressive, being aggressive. When somebody's mean to you, people that are mean to others are people that are unhappy, that are not energetically balanced, obviously, that don't vibrate high. Because if you're happy, you're nice to people. Right? So, and the food that you eat can definitely help or not with that, depending on what you eat.
So, Valeria, the food that you eat, would you choose it for its vibrational quality, let's say? Or, is that just another way of talking about
I think
healthy
it's just
food?
another way of talking about it, or maybe even to understand how deep and how wide this can be.
Yeah.
Right? Because if we think that food is just calories or just vitamins or just for the body, then you're missing out on at least half.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
So you eat because of how you want to feel in every possible way.
Yeah.
You want to be energized, you want to be calm, you want to be focused, you want to feel happy, you want to be kind to others, and you want to have energy, and you want to build muscle, and and all of it comes from the same place.
Mm-hmm. And what is your advice to somebody who is struggling to get going, who finds it really difficult, the typical person who Monday morning, okay, I'm going to eat healthy, and by, Monday evening, it hasn't happened.
Yeah.
How do you get people on the right track?
I think the first thing that you need to see is, first, you need to look at yourself. You can't look outside for this, right? And I say this because we say, oh, I'm going to go do that, right? I'm going to make that recipe, and I'm going to do that diet, and I'm going to do that. You need to start with what you're already doing. So normally, what makes you feel the way you're feeling, or gives you the symptoms that you have, or the weight that you have, or whatever it is that you want to address, are the things that you do the most. So take a look at what your day looks like in terms of what you eat the most. Something that you eat every day is possibly causing something that you don't want to experience. If you don't eat, for example, your meals are usually, I don't know, meat and potatoes and every now and then a salad, then you know that you're missing vegetables, right? But I like to encourage people to take a look at what you're doing without judgment. Just look at it, just see.
Yeah.
What is there too common? So you can add some variety here. So you can change a little bit there. And it doesn't have to be so radical, because otherwise you won't be able to do it for longer than a week, if you're lucky.
Yeah.
Another thing that I think is super important when you want to address your eating habits and your lifestyle is to work on your internal clock, the one that goes with the sun and the darkness. So more often than not, when you start aligning yourself with the hours of the sun, being outside in the sunlight morning, noon, and evening, that will reset your circadian rhythm. And that alone will help you stick to healthier habits. The body is designed to align with these things. So it will take every opportunity that you give it. Simple things like being in the sun, morning, noon, and evening. That will help you sleep better. That will make you more insulin sensitive. That will make you crave less sweets. That will help you stick to whatever it is that you want to do. Drinking enough water, same. Water has very high calming qualities. So it calms the brain, it calms your mood, it will help you digest better, and it will help your bowel movements, and you'll help your liver, and so on. So these simple things: be in the sun, drink water, add a salad to every meal, and that should get you going.
Yeah.
Because if you try to make it too complicated, too sophisticated, too special, that's not going to last.
Absolutely.
There's a moment for all of these things. You start with the simplest possible thing, and then you grow from there. There will be a time for the hyperbaric chamber and the red light, whatever. Of course, there will be a time, because we tend to evolve in these things. And in my opinion, this is a journey that it never ends. Because the more you learn, the more you want, and the more you, look at that, I'm going to go try it,
And the better you feel, so it encourages
Exactly.
you, or you have more energy to think, or your mind is a bit clearer from the brain fog.
And also you start making different choices, because when your body comes back to a state of health and balance, your choices, the things that you start liking, are different. Gita is a woman that is working with me. She's 73. And she sent yesterday to our group, I realized that I don't like fries anymore. I like kale and arugula better than fries.
She's a weirdo.
She's a weirdo. If anybody listening to this is probably thinking that will never happen to me, right?
I like both. I like fries and I like rocket.
I tried fries yesterday, in fact, because I was hungry and I was out with friends and whatever. So there were fries there, and I just tried a few, and I didn't like the taste.
Okay.
Because the taste buds are highly influenced by the type of bacteria that you have in your gut. So if you feed your gut bacteria the foods that promote the growth of these beneficial anti-inflammatory, estrogen processing, metabolically beautiful bacteria, they don't like fries.
Superhero bacteria.
Exactly. Okay. They don't like fries.
I have to keep working on that then.
And they don't make you crave things that they don't like. That's the beautiful thing about working with the microbiome. You crave what your bacteria want to eat.
Fabulous.
So if you have the right population of bacteria down there, it's all good.
Yeah. It sorts itself out.
I have been in a table where people are eating pizza and I decided to eat something else. And I'm like, who are you? What did you do with Valeria? Like, what happened here?
Yeah.
And that is very, for me, it was mind-blowing, because when you feel that way, it's effortless.
Yeah.
That's when being healthy becomes effortless. But you need to build that, and it's so 100% doable and buildable.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So start with drinking more water, getting sunlight, and adding in a salad. And we can all do that without it being too stressful.
That's it.
I replaced
If you want to go even farther with another very simple thing, take a 10-minute walk after lunch and after dinner. That will make you more insulin sensitive. That will help your body process food better. That will help you deal with any digestive issues, from reflux to constipation, you name it, all of it.
Wow. Yeah.
So these are very simple things that the body was made to do. We just need to let it do it.
Very good. I used to, every time I take a break from my computer or between meetings, I'd go to the kitchen and I'd eat some grapes or some other fruit, thinking that, you know, it was healthy. And it was for no reason other than because that was what I always did. And it was maybe boredom or looking for distraction from work. And that's one of the things that I have either replaced with drinking a glass of water or filling up my water glass. But also, if I do want to eat some fruit, I add a nut or two.
That's a great thing.
Explain why that's a good thing.
That is a good thing for two reasons. But, well, first of all, when we take a break, or when we crave something, like, I want to eat something, I don't know what it is, I just want something, that usually is not a craving for food, it's a craving for a change of state. The best way to solve it is with movement. Like right before our meeting now, I had a 15-minute break and I went outside in the sun and I just sat there.
Lovely.
That's it. Because I didn't have enough time to go out and walk, but I would have, otherwise I would have gone around the block, and that's it. You do that, that takes 2 minutes, and all cravings are gone. At the beginning, they can be the longest 2 minutes of your life, but it happens. You know, like everything else, the more you do it, the better you get at it, right? So that's one thing. When we feel like that, unfortunately, food is so easily available that we always go grab something. But I would encourage people to try and just make that one decision and say, I'll go walk around the block first. Don't say no. Just, I'll go walk around the block first, and then we'll see about that banana or the grape or whatever it is. No? And also, we tend to eat like that when we're not even hungry.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's, in my opinion, that is us not respecting our bodies, disrespecting our bodies, because when you're not hungry, it means that your body's doing something else. And you're saying, oh no, liver, stop whatever you're doing because now I'm going to eat. So you're basically interrupting another process, which is usually a beautiful thing that happens. It's like a cleaning process of the digestive tube, where everything is swept all the way to the colon so the bacteria can ferment it. And so you can digest and absorb nutrients more efficiently when food actually comes. That process is interrupted every time you eat and causes inflammation when you do it. So people that are snacking all the time are interrupting this process all the time. And when you interrupt it, it goes back to the start. It doesn't continue where it left off. So there are parts of your digestive tube that are never cleaned.
So this is why fasting is good.
Exactly. And then you have SIBO, you have, bacterial overgrowth, candidiasis, and all these things that nobody knows where they come from. Well, that's where they come from. Okay. Now, that's one thing about craving. So maybe do something else instead. Right? Now, when you do eat a fruit, to your question, when you do eat a fruit, fruits are amazing. Please stop thinking that fruit, no, don't eat fruit because it has too much sugar. Come on now. Fruit, no, but croissant, see. Hello. So let's get real here. Fruits are wonderful foods that are natural, that are full of nutrients, that are full of prana, that were growing in the sun. So please, fruits, yes. Now, things that I wouldn't do with fruits. I wouldn't juice them. because when you juice them, you take just the sugar without the fiber. So always whole. And if you can add nuts or nut butter, it's great because that delays the absorption of the sugar in the fruit. So it will keep you full for longer. It will stabilize your blood sugar. It will stabilize your insulin, and it will give you more energy. Okay, in the long run, you will stay full and satisfied for longer. And also, there's another thing that is interesting, that is fat helps with the absorption of some of the nutrients in the foods, in the fruit. For example, liposoluble vitamins like vitamin A, that is present in everything that is red or yellow or orange. So you can picture a few, like strawberries and apples and, I don't know, plums and all this. They have vitamin A. Vitamin A is better absorbed with fat. So nuts have healthy fats and fiber and polyphenols and some protein. So it's a wonderful addition to it.
Brilliant. So Valeria, fasting, obviously, tell us a little bit without going into, too deep on it, because I know it's a topic you could talk about for forever. But, sometimes it's not the right thing to do for women. And sometimes it's very beneficial to, as we just said, cleaning out your system. So
yes. So well, I am a fasting coach. I've been learning a lot about this, and I learned it especially for hormone balance for two reasons. Because sometimes we benefit from it, and many times we don't. So first of all, what fasting is not skipping meals. You don't eat less because you fast. Okay? What you do is you choose to eat in a certain amount of hours, and then the rest of the time you don't. And then when you do eat, for example, let's say the very typical intermittent fasting that everybody's talking about is the 16-8. So you eat during 8 hours of your day and you fast for 16 hours. Now, those 8 hours can be at any time of your day. It doesn't have to be after lunch, like some people. Why after lunch? I would highly recommend, especially for women, both cycling and non-cycling women, that they start eating between 8 and 10 in the morning. Because especially when you are under stress, which pretty much all of us are, right? You don't want your adrenal glands to perceive that there is no food coming in, because that will make you more stressed.
Okay.
So you need to know what your metabolic needs are before you decide the length and the time of your fasting. Now, fasting is incredibly beneficial because it promotes healing, cellular repair. It makes your skin better. Like everything gets better with fasting. But again, if you're under a lot of stress, don't fast longer than 12 hours. 12 hours is very safe for everybody every day. So that means you eat dinner at 7 and you eat breakfast at 7 or 8 the next morning. That's it.
Yeah, very doable.
Very doable, very beneficial. Is amazing for weight loss. That length of fast is amazing for weight loss. It doesn't overstress your body. It will give your digestion the rest that it needs. It will give your liver the 12 hours that it needs to perform the detoxification process overnight. Yeah. It's amazing for blood sugar regulation, for everything. Now, if you can, you will go 2 more hours and you do a 14-hour fast. And that will give you a little extra benefit, especially in terms of ketosis. So you will produce a little bit more ketones, right? Which means that you've been burning a little bit more fat.
Very good. If you have fat to burn, some of us don't have. Yeah. Planning a 14-hour fast tonight.
It's very nice. It's a very nice and very doable fasting length.
Yes.
Of course, there are others. If you fast for 17 hours or more, then you trigger another process that is called autophagy. There's a Japanese scientist that discovered it and won the Nobel Prize for it in 2016.
Wow.
And that process, autophagy, means that your body will dismantle those cells that are old or non-functioning right. So it's perfect for cancer prevention.
Amazing.
Right? They will dismantle them, and it will reuse components that can be reduced, and it will destroy those that cannot be used. That happens after 17 hours of fast. You can do 24. There's like a lot of different types of fasting, and each one of them has different goals and different benefits and different protocols. So you need to know when you do each one. Otherwise, you will say, oh, I tried fasting and it didn't work. I felt awful.
Yeah.
I had brain fog. I was dizzy. I had a headache. I didn't have any energy. That happens when you don't do it right, basically.
Yeah. So you need to know what you're doing, not just randomly fast for 17 hours.
No, and also you need to know where you're at, how your body is at that time.
Yeah.
In my program, you've done it. We do a protocol that cycles the fasting with the hormonal cycle at different times of the month. So between the first 10 days of the month, when you have your estrogen is going up, you can do certain like up to maybe 24 or 36 hours of fasting, because your body is well equipped for that at that time, but not during ovulation, not during a high progesterone phase, like it's the week before your period. So we can cycle that. But even if you are in day 6, when you could fast, in theory, you could fast for 24 hours, maybe that's not your day to do it, because you have a very stressful day at work, because you had a fight with your teenage son or teenage daughter, and that completely throws you off.
Yeah.
So we always need to learn how to check in with ourselves, how we feel, what our day looks like, what are our responsibilities and our demands that day. Because we are very used to pushing our bodies. And that's exactly why the body starts being against us, because you push it, right?
Yeah. And it resists.
If you do the other way around, so you go like, no, I'm going to be kind to you today because I need you to perform all of this for me.
Yeah.
Then the situation changes.
And Valeria, are you currently doing assessments? I know at times you offer free assessments for people. Is that something that people can avail of at the moment?
Yes, I have opened actually a few slots for this week and next week for free assessments for those who want, for applicants to my 6-month program.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love having those assessments. Those are usually really rich conversations with women.
We'll put the link in the show notes for that.
Absolutely.
Just tell us a little bit more about the program and what you bring people through, which I can highly recommend, because it did have a huge impact. I didn't just lose weight, and this is what we're talking about, which of course is an added bonus that a lot of people want, but it really was for me that change in my habits, because obviously, being a habit person, I like to think of things, but it's allowed me to adapt some very simple habits that have given me more energy, and also allowed me to become much more aware of when something is not right. Like we had a call recently and I mentioned brain fog and you said, you're eating too much carbs. Oh yeah. So it's just those kind of triggers and getting more in touch with your own body and understanding if something's not working. As you say, it's not about, oh shit, it's not working. It's okay, what's this telling me? What am I eating too much of or not giving myself enough of?
Yeah, I think it's nice to look at it that way, because then you're all the time learning about yourself, right? Instead of thinking I failed at this, or this is, you just say, oh, okay. there has to be a way around this. What does this mean?
Yeah. Ideally, having you to answer the question is great, but
Okay.
but
Thank you for that.
at some stage, yeah, you have to know yourself.
Yeah, but also like my idea with this program, it's called, I went a little bit out there with the name. I called it the Build, Balance, and Become workshop, because my goal with it is that women are empowered to make expert level decisions about their own bodies and their own health and their own food. So then you start eating for how you want to feel rather than because it's lunchtime.
Yeah.
Right? So that's one thing. So what we work on three main pillars to start with. One is finding the root cause of whatever is going on. So I do a thorough assessment of, well, first I do an interview, an assessment consultation. And then when the applicants are a good fit for the program, they start. And the first thing we do is we find the root cause of what's going on. So I make a very thorough evaluation. It's a clinical evaluation. I never ask for blood tests because blood tests come back normal and then people don't know what to do. So we work with symptoms and signs and symptoms. So we see, okay, we can connect the dots between what's going on and how you feel and what you're eating and what your day looks like. So then we know, okay, let's start working here. This is what we need to do first. So then we can do this. So then we can do that. Because people want to go, the women can talk to me and they go like, I want to start balancing my hormones naturally. Okay, that's going to happen. But first we need to do this and this and this. So it's basically a way of putting it into a method, into a system that will take you where you want to go without skipping anything in between. Yeah. So we work on the microbiome, we work on the liver, because those two systems are the ones that will help you balance your hormones. But we need to make sure that they are working properly first, right? Because otherwise it's Band-Aid solution. This is a very deep work that we do on ourselves.
Yeah. So. And I think it's very empowering.
Thank you.
It's really is. It gives you back. I've recommended your program to so many people, and a good few people have done it and also felt the benefits. So thank you for the great work that you do. Valeria, what is bringing you most joy in your life right now?
Oh, there's a lot that is bringing me joy in my life now. But I would say that, and I know that this is going to sound like, oh, she has to say that, right? But no, it's my morning routine where I wake up really early. I go in the sun with my Lifeflow Planner that I got from you. Yes.
She wasn't paid to say that.
I wasn't paid to say this, I promise. No, I do that. I do the meditations that I learned from you. And that is something that, I don't know, maybe they need to drop a bomb. Something really bad needs to happen for me to skip it.
Amazing.
And it gives me joy because I do it every day. So that's why it's something I want to say again, like the things you do every day are the things that determine how you feel and everything in your life.
Absolutely.
Both for your benefit or not.
Yeah.
So if you're looking at a root cause of something, look at what's the most abundant thing in your life, what's happening all the time. If you're drinking too much coffee, if you're drinking too little water, if you're not having your salads every day, if that type of thing, something that happens or doesn't happen every day, that is where you want to be looking at. For me, joy comes from these very little things that I can do to give to myself every single day.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So that's the one.
Yeah. One thing I always say is the quality of your daily life, or the quality of your life, is determined by the quality of your daily habits.
100%.
And that is both your mental habits as much as your behavioral habits. Yes. So yeah. So starting your day with some beautiful morning habits, it just sets the tone, doesn't it, for the rest of your 100%. Day?
100%.
Yeah.
Like when I started with the planner that we got from you, I honestly didn't know where to start.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that this might resonate with a lot of people, because this is something that we tend to take for granted because it's so simple that we think, nah, what is that going to do for me?
Yeah.
But it puts you in a state of gratitude. It helps me do work on my affirmations.
Mm-hmm.
It helps me choose again, like you said, choose my thoughts, choose who I want to be that day. And it's incredibly powerful. It fills me up with joy. And then I can make better decisions too about my lifestyle and my food, because when you're in that sattvic state that I just talked about, you don't want to ruin it,
Yep.
you
Yep.
know?
Yeah. You know
No
what it
ice cream.
feels like.
No
Yeah.
ice cream is worth ruining that.
Well,
So
you
that's
might not have ever tried an Irish 99 ice cream. I won't
okay.
ruin you. We won't buy you one the next time you come to Ireland.
Okay, so I might need to visit Ireland again then.
Yeah.
Looks like I missed something there.
You might have. We turned your head the other way. Valeria, thank you so much for sharing your wisdom with everyone. And yeah, thank you for who you are and the work that you do. And we wish you a beautiful day.
Thank you so much. It's been wonderful, and I'm really grateful to know you, to be in touch with you. What you do is amazing, and it's been a privilege to be here talking to you. Always wonderful conversations. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
So I hope you enjoyed that chat with Valeria. And as a lot of people have said to me many times when I have got Valeria to speak in my coaching program, that they want to hear her again, they want to bring her back. So I do assume that we will have Valeria back again. But please let me know what you thought of the episode and what you want to hear more about, so we can plan for that in the future. So thanks again for listening in, for tuning in. Please share this podcast with any of your female friends or colleagues that you think it might be beneficial to. And please follow the podcast. This is the best way to support us, help us grow, and get the message out there that life doesn't have to be hard. And with small, simple shifts, we can shift our vibration. But really what that means, it's making life easier and positively impacting those around us. Also follow me on Instagram at Coach Ciara Conlon, and keep committing to your high vibration and have a beautiful inner day.